So with the second pick, the Hornets should select Scoot Henderson. I've seen a little bit about Portland maybe getting him to drop to the third pick. I'd be quite surprised if Charlotte would allow that. Scoot clearly is the American prospect and would be number one if not for Wemby existing this season. So you take him. My second move that Charlotte should do this offseason is actually not a not do. I don't know if that's allowed, but I'm going to do it anyway. They should not re-sign Miles Bridges. I understand that he had a very good season. I understand he had a very good season. That man is trouble. And I think we're seeing it with Ja Morant at present. We're seeing it. We literally tried to trade Ja Morant to Orlando the other week because he had a gun in an IG video. He actually hasn't been criminally convicted, whereas Miles Bridges has. So I don't think it's worth touching Miles Bridges anymore. And you don't need that on your team. I think that's just bad. Okay. And you trade LaMelo Ball in your tank and you trade him to the Spurs for the package that I listed in the Spurs video. So those are my three things that the Charlotte Hornets should do. Take Scoot, stay away from Miles Bridges, and get rid of LaMelo. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna I'm gonna counter in opposite land here. You've clearly taken a different pathway in your head on how the Hornets should approach their franchise rebuilding, and I don't know. I guess MJ's got a choice. He can hire me as GM, or he can hire you as GM, maybe one day. And I'm gonna say that the Hornets right now should be in LaMelo Ball mode and win now mode. And you don't get a talent like LaMelo Ball every day. And I'm going to be optimistic that he can get his ankles healthy and more like Steph Curry in his early career. And he had all those ankle injuries and, sort of issues. We didn't know if he could stay healthy before he turned to MVP Steph Curry and the player he is now. And I'm going to bank on hopefully LaMelo Ball can have that sort of, trajectory from a health perspective. And he is a player you can build around. And you said that they should take Scoot Henderson with the second pick here. I actually think they should trade the second pick. I don't think Scoot Henderson is the right fit for the current lineup. And I can understand what you're saying. If you're saying blow up the team, sure, you can make it the Scoot Henderson team. I get what you're saying. Okay, trade every player, make Scoot Henderson now your franchise player. Okay, but you already got LaMelo Ball. Okay, that's the point. There's no point trading LaMelo Ball for Scoot Henderson. It so doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so you don't need the number two pick right now. If you were the Hornets, I think you would be listening to offers, okay, of veterans that have impact on winning. Okay, I don't have a specific target there. I have a trade target, obviously, but I don't have a specific trade target for the second pick. But I reckon you shop that pick right now. Okay, I think you sign Miles Bridges. Like I said, this is the opposite world right now. We're on other sides of the world right now too, I guess. Yeah, but I reckon you sign Miles Bridges because one, right now you have all the leverage in the world to give him a cap-friendly contract. He's not going to command, interest from pretty much 28 other teams at least, okay, if not every other team in the league, okay? And you know what he can give you. Okay, and you can give him a cap-friendly contract here on a one, maybe year deal with a team option for a second year or something like that. Okay, and if he can come back and show that he can bring 80% of what he did the year before, when he obviously was putting 20 points a game on the board, and he can stay in the good books, and that's what you mentioned. He can stay in the good books. Okay, it's worth it. It's worth it. All right. And he's a player that can play. And you're sort of saying, hey, hell, he got into trouble. He's not worth another chance. Look, I don't know. There's so many players we could probably break down another podcast that have gotten in trouble, have gotten second chances, and probably it will worth having a second chance. Okay. So I think that's the reality. And for my last part here, obviously, for a trade, and obviously I'm talking about win now mode. Yep. You were talking about tanking and rebuilding the Hornets, okay, and getting rid of their core players right now. Get rid of Hayward, get rid of LaMelo, don't get rid, sign Miles Bridges. I'm saying that you trade now for a player that can complement LaMelo. Hopefully, it's healthy, and along with your other pieces you have in place. And I've got Hayward obviously on the trade block with Kelly Oubre Jr. obviously on expiring contract as well, going to the Chicago Bulls here for Zach LaVine. I'm saying bring Zach LaVine over, all right, to the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls, in fact, are looking to blow it up. That's another case we'll talk about down the track, right? All right, and I'm saying Zach LaVine with LaMelo Ball could be one of the two most dynamic players in the backcourt right now that could take Charlotte to the playoffs. All right, and where they go from there, hey, that's another story. Hey, that's my pathway for the Charlotte Hornets. I don't know, MJ can have a think about which way he wants to go, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a tale of two halves. I think just to bring it back a little bit, I think my urgency for the Spurs, Wembanyama, let's assume that he does get a career. For him to exceed 6 to 8 years being at that stature, uh, would be quite miraculous, really. So I personally don't think they have time, right? And we both kind of acknowledge that they needed to tank or build some assets for a little bit, and that trading for LaMelo was the quickest way to do that because they either get the potential of LaMelo or they get off of him because he never played via the draft market. And then for Charlotte, we both have to acknowledge that mediocrity has to be associated with that franchise. They really have done nothing in a very long time and don't look poised to do much. And LaMelo Ball was a bit injury prone. So definitely different, different perspectives. I like your comp of Curry because in a couple of years' time, we could be looking at LaMelo and basically saying, what a similar arc that he took. And, your fingers crossed that because he's got such talent that you want to see him in the league for as long as possible. But yeah, look, just different philosophies. I'm not going to crucify you for that. I don't mind it. You want convicted felons on your team. That's your business. But you'd make a great GM, I'm sure.
This is Two Guys with Spare Time. I'm Faz, this is Nick. You're probably a basketball fan like us, so hopefully you can throw us an assist and giving our video a like and subscribing to our channel.
And if you got thoughts, feelings, or even some suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. And thank you for using your spare time to watch us in our spare time.